Well, tied to that conversation, we also have the situation in Kumasi. The new Kumasi mayor has stirred some controversy, and he has defended his position to flog traders who sell on the pavements, road medians, insisting that that's the way to infuse some sanity into the system. He's also declared the Assembly's resolve to kill and feed stray cattle to the prisons and other charity institutions, a tough measure to deal with the long-standing menace of stray cattle. Let's find out what he had to say, and then we'll go on the ground and engage Nana Yaujima, our journalist on the beat. But this is what the Kumasi Mayor, Richard Ofori-Agyemang, had to say.
My own democratic military style, which I'll be implementing. When we say leave this space, and you don't leave this space, and I get there, I am not lucky, and my boys are with me, there and then, we'll beat you. There, in the middle of a doom. If you're not lucky, if I'm alone, you'll be lucky. But if I'm there, and my 10 boys are in their pickup with me, with their hips, trust me, we'll beat you. If you don't want to experience that kind of situation, do that which is right and which is lawful. This is Otumfuo City.
At the Asokwa traffic light in Kumasi, about 15 cattle attempt to cross the road unsupervised. They obstruct traffic flow, even though the lights show green, signaling vehicles to move. A driver, Alex, describes how he nearly ran into some cattle attempting to cross the road.
Free ahojo edeba castle.
I was moving from Ahojo to Castle with my children. From nowhere, a cattle ran into the middle of the road. Fortunately, I spotted it early, so I applied the brake. It was very close.
In the Oforiko municipality, the top high traffic light has gradually become a safe haven for cattle who have come out to graze. By the local assembly's bylaws, persons with authorization by the KMA can arrest cattle found at large without any supervision by a public person. It bans the keeping of such animals outside premises of slaughterhouses. The bylaws further indicate the animal will be released to the owner after payment of fees involved in the arrest and maintenance of the animal. The owner's refusal will lead to sale of the animal at a public auction after 10 days. But the Kumasi Mayor, Richard Ofori-Agyemang, is suggesting another means of dealing with the challenge.
If you're a cattle owner and you have cattle and your cattle stray and they are coming into the vicinity of KMA, they can go to any assembly. That's not my headache. If they are coming into the domain of KMA, be rest assured that from the 1st of May, those cattle will be killed and be given to the Kumasi Central Prison for feeding.
The previous administration of the city was unable to implement the bylaws, citing financial reasons. The administration was unable to reach payment terms with persons to be used in the arrest of the cattle. But the new city mayor insists all the necessary arrangements have been made to implement his new directive.
So who to catch them I've identified. What is now left with KMA to provide us with a vehicle? And I'm sure my managers will find a vehicle for us. So who to do the catching we have, who to make use of the cattle we have. So we would then have to look for a vehicle.
For Joy News, Nana Yaujima, Kumasi.
Benjamin, it is there. Like there, no.
On the spot now.
There.
Reminds me of those who used to pass by with something, and those who sell, rat's bane and others. Do you remember those people? Anyway, well.
While this is funny, raises very serious concerns. How well can we correct or right the wrong? Is this the measure? But Nana Yaujima, our journalist in Kumasi, who's been following the story, joins us via Zoom for a conversation. Nana Yao, it's been some days since the Kumasi mayor said this. What has been the atmosphere in Kumasi? What has been the reaction so far?
So this communication or message from the KMA Mayor has been received with mixed reaction in the Ashanti region. Yesterday, we took our cameras to the Central Business District to speak to people who are working or who are trading in the medians and also along the shoulders of the road. Some of these people have been explaining their reasons for being on the shoulders of the road. According to them, now the Kumasi Central Market itself, not long ago, it was demolished. About 4 years ago, it was demolished for reconstruction. The reconstruction is not yet done. And some of them say they will find themselves in the markets. Now that the market is no more, they are left with no other place but to be in the medians and also on the shoulders of the road to trade. Others are saying that they were in the corporal market, which was also demolished about 2 decades ago. And the corporal market is also not completed. And that is their reason for being in the medians and also on the shoulders of the road. So some believe that it is not justified, especially with these projects undone. It is not justified for the KMA Mayor to go ahead and use flogging to decongest the city. Others believe that even though what they are doing is not right, the KMA have no right to flog these people. So the people, the other people in Kumasi who believe that the city needs to be decongested, despite the reasons that are being given. Because when the previous city administration evacuated people from the Kumasi Central Market for reconstruction, some of them were sent to other satellite markets in the Kumasi metropolis. For instance, if you go to the racecourse market, there are some portions of the racecourse market which were left unoccupied. Some people were sent there, but they refused to go in there and trade at the market because they believe that people or their customers will find it very difficult to come into the market to buy. There are other places like the Fiakobi market, which parts or have also been left unoccupied. So some of these traders are supposed to be there, but they've refused to occupy some of these places. Mind you, not long ago, the Blue Light Arena in Kumasi was also burnt down, and some of the people who found themselves in the Blue Light Arena have also come onto the streets to start trading. Mind you, the Blue Light Arena affected about 2,900 traders. So some of these people, if say half of these people are on the streets, you can only imagine the congestion in the city center here in Kumasi. So the KMA Mayor's message have been received with mixed reaction. A lot of people giving diverse reasons for being on the streets.
Okay, Nanaya, so you're confirming that it's not the case that there isn't an alternative, except that they are quite uncomfortable with the alternative that's been provided. On that side, when you're answering that, let us also know, is a mixed reaction on both the flogging and also the feeding of stray cattle to prisoners? So
let's begin with my checks at various satellite markets in the Kumasi metropolis. Now, going through the Efiakubi market and also the racecourse market, there are still some spaces that are unoccupied. My own checks reveal that some of the people who are on the streets have spaces in these markets, but they failed to occupy these spaces that had been given to them because they are not comfortable with trading in there. They say they are not able to make enough in these markets. Also, there are some transport operators who are supposed to be in these markets to attract travelers who will in turn also buy from these traders, because according to checks by various transport operators and the market women, they say transport and selling in these markets go hand in hand. So if the transport operators are ready to move in there, it will attract the market. Unfortunately, some of them are loading on the streets. And this is another issue that the KMA Mayor has also promised to deal with. So there are spaces in some of the markets, even though these spaces are not enough to occupy all of the traders. If some of these traders are able to move in there, the congestion in the city will obviously be reduced.
Okay.
So until that is effectively done, I believe that we'll still have some people on the streets whose activities in there will congest the city.
Okay, and for the stray cattle, what's the reaction as well?
Exactly, stray cattle has been an issue for the Kumasi city residents in Kumasi. Now, a lot of people say that it is very important for the Kumasi mayor to look at this. Some of them have, they are happy that he intends to act immediately. But there are some people who are quoting various laws, which says contrary to what the KMA mayor is suggesting. Now, in the story that you just played, the bylaws were quoted, the bylaws of the KMA was quoted, aspects of the bylaws was quoted in there. And I've seen other people who are quoting other acts to support that the KMA cannot take it upon himself to kill these stray animals and feed them to the Kumasi prisons. So people are divided about this issue, but it remains very important that these stray animals are taken off the streets. From the video you just showed, it shows that a lot of these animals find themselves in major roads in the Kumasi metropolis. And myself, I've been a victim of this incident. I almost ran into an animal not too long ago. It was dark in the evening, and this animal was running towards my direction. I almost hit this animal with my vehicle. So it should tell you that this is a very important thing that a lot of people in the Kumasi metropolis would want to see it dealt with. But unfortunately, the mode of operation by the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, the mayor, it's what some of the people in the Ashanti region, or Kumasi to be specific, are not happy about.
Nanaya, I'll come to you in a bit. Just hold for me. I see this message coming through from Na Amanua, who says, I wish Africa will learn something. What do Ghanaians want? We can't have our cake and eat it at the same time. We want to clean up our cities, but you have a handful of people who won't make the effort to change and progress. Accra is choked with street vendors and we can't breathe. And I agree with the mayor to take action in Kumasi. When persuasion fails, force must be applied. That's what she says. So, Nanaya, on that point, people are citing bylaws and all of that. The mayor says this. Sampine, who is a former mayor, says it is democratic terrorism to go and whip these people. Amnesty International has also said it is undemocratic. But what then do the people themselves think will be a solution? If they say that will not work, what else can be done to, rid the streets of these people? They are not supposed to be there.
On the decongestion of the city center, a lot of people are citing the uncompleted market facilities for this reason, and they believe that the mayor should focus on ensuring that some of these facilities are completed.
So you're talking about phase two of the central market. Is that what you're referencing?
It's one of them, and also the corporal market, which have been closed down for reconstruction for over 2 decades, is another. So if these market facilities are completed, people will not have a reason to be on the streets, the medians and also the shoulders of the streets. So these are two things that people are pointing to as one of the solutions for this challenge. Until then, some of them believe that they will have nowhere else to trade, and they also have to feed their families. So a lot of them will continue to be on the roads. But even that, the mayor is saying that because he is acknowledging these factors as reasons for people being on the roads. But what he is saying is that the medians, people shouldn't occupy the middle of the road, especially the dual carriage roads in the city center. And also, if you are trading on the pavement, you shouldn't exceed a certain boundary. And that is what he says is the immediate decongestion exercise that he will be doing. He will ensure that even though some people are on the shoulders of the road or on the pavement, they wouldn't exceed a certain limit. The medians too are no-go areas. Now, what he is saying is that he has given them some time, and it starts from today. If these people refuse to leave the streets, he will be on the street with his men. And if people, the recalcitrant people who are still found on the street, are those who will be meted these corporal punishments.
Nanayo, we're grateful for the scoop that you brought us on this matter, and of course that military style, response adopted by the new mayor of Kumasi, Richard Ofori Ajiman Bwedi. But let's find out how people reacted on the streets of Kumasi when they heard this. Let's see what the reaction was.
Actually, say, can be creative free now, but bet me be tria fire so. Name mom say ye ni baby te. Ye wie market. And I actually ya baby I tena ton ade yi. Say e ho no so ne gya to we. Ye dwu ho. Greenway si akira so anka ye betimi awura ho akotena tan ho kakra say e ho so ye dwu ho. Eti de o kan de ye no kre pa no o kan no. Na mom ne ha ye pa ne say e ma mre what say ye. O so oba wo de aba na be si ye so. Sebi eno de entwa ye eye kasa kire ene wom mema menuanom menananom menua mema mo mesramo sese ye pese ye kuro ni ye enti baabi kakra sei monko chia won kakra kopem tama ye be wie market no ana kagetia na ehye ye no ye be ni ye ana se blue light na ehye ye no on be ni ya me ya akotena wo na pa se kwa wona ye se ye tena ne de ye kra ye kase ye bojo so a ne ye boa ena ye wo baabi so wo ho a ye timi tena nchen kakra ebe ye yie a ye be sori afri kwan ni mu kra ye be timi eduru tama ye be wie asafo market na omu nyina de bekwa akogo ye nyina ye pekro ni ye ye ba esi ye kura yi mu da wot sa brochira entiki ye pe na emom oba no ye de akoma pa na eje no na emom de wi a o se obebu ye no de nyame anim no kura ni ye sere no eno de entwa ye fi se ye nyenkola no aboye ma no ato.
What she's trying to say, or what she's saying, is that she understands and they acknowledge the security implications of selling on the streets. However, they are courting and counting on the mayor and city authorities to facilitate the construction of markets, the stored markets in Kumasi, so that if they are leaving these streets or they are leaving these pathways, they have a place to move on. What they are also complaining about is the strategy that the mayor now seeks to employ, which they feel is unfair, considering that they have their livelihoods on the line. I would engage more traders and gauge their mood to the situation. Ma me also ton ade wa ha. The mayor kan obi aya udijwe. Dey asem na wo.
Oh, I no crack. Baby am dijwa. Enye se aha enam dijwa. If sabeto me ma me nanan. Na ye nidwa e wo kwam. Na mom sese ahokyere a abaga na nti ena ma yete kwamu eye no kra ye kra yete ayedwene ye nkwa ho pa ka betima betwi afa so ama yewu so what I say tembia ebitwi ema ye nuanom ebi esufre aban eti hana yete ne ye kra ye bonyu so eti esra me yo se onya abotre mai no mu hwehwe ba bi kama no mu mfa ye nko ne ye nyina so ofri ekwam afa so wo so obebo ye aburo ne de ye pana chaw ompacha wo kra ompacha wo yanyan kura no aboye sebe na nakosi agima ba e wa amoye ma party ba e wa amoye no abeka che se ye obetwe abasie so if say na sebe ye ma ya wo mu kura ni ye ntimi ntwe abansi wo mu so eti waka yesra no ye gitum but onhwehwe ba bi ma ye manuato.
I can see more traders geared up to react and also share their thoughts on the new strategy and the new enforcement coming from the mayor. Papa, also did you have meeting komo me hwese de na ohwe ni e de asem na woka.
De tell say wo mu say ye to kwan ho de e kwan ne ye te ne ye pe ene ye de ha. Enoma bi na asisi ana ma ye te kwan ho. Ba bi a ye te ɛne sɛ ɛkyɛ na ne yɛteɛ ɛne gya atɔ hɔ ahye wɔn asa atwe budeza asa bebubu rere so nyinaa ana ahaso sɛ ɔka sɛ baabi race course nso ka sɛ race course dabre bie no hɔ dabre bie no a yɛkɔ eti no yɛfɛ ne sɛn mayor sampai bae no ɔse center market yɛnwie kurofuro mu dwom yɛnwie eti saa deɛ a yɛmpaakye paakye nkyɛn ti yɛte eti ɛkɔm wɔ ma yɛnyina afiri kɔm hɔ ɛbɛtrɛtrɛ nkyɛnkyɛn sɛ yɛwie center market a ana yɛwie kurofuro mu dwa na yɛnyina na yɛdɛ yɛkɔ ana sɛsɛ nso center market yɛnwie ana sɛsɛ gya na asa ahye no so baabi ahye no on sɛ baabi a wogyina yɛkyi ha ya ɛna ahye eti yɛdi baabi a kwantimayo no onya abotrɛ na ɔmpɛ baabi a ɔhɔ kama race course dabre ni hɔ ana sɛsɛ nso baabi a aka sɛ ɔde ɛbɛkɔ no sɛ ɔpɛ baabi pama yɛn center market nso na nke bɛn a ifi sɛ nke betimi aboa yɛn ɛno so yɛnwie eti sɛ ɔkɔgyina na aka sɛ wodi aba na ade babu yɛn ɛsɛ bi yɛnyɛ nkola ana sɛsɛ nso yɛni soja aban democracy ɛne sɛsɛ democracy na ɛsi a ɛdi hini wɔ sɛsɛ asase wɔ so eti sɛ ɔka sɛ wodi aba wodi wobɛtwem ababu ya na sɛ woni asanteman ani asɛm na ɔka akwa sɛ nkɔpa asanteman akyɛw efi sɛ yɛnyɛ sabi yɛnyɛ moa na ade aba bɛka so efi sɛ nipa na to aba ɛdɛ ɛma hɔ efi sɛ ɛnyɛ yanto aba ma wa anka wo ma ɛma yɔ no edi ka wo sɛ nipa na wo bɛdi so na wodi maa wo sɛ wodi maa ana ade babu ya nim na next time wobɛtimi asa aba anim sɛ wo sa bɛpɛ yɛfɛ ne so sa bɛpɛ yɛ vote sɛ yɛnsa ntoma wo de aba babu ya ne a wontimi sɛ ama sɛ yɛnsa to yɛnsa wontimi sɛ ama sɛ yɛnsa ma wo vote eti wɔn de onya abotrɛ ɛma yɛn na sɛ obɛnya baabi papa bi ama yɛn ne a yɛbɛkɔ.
Papa, that's it. So what these traders are essentially saying is that they have nowhere to go and their only hope is for the stored markets to be completed. And one thing that they mention now is the fact that the Blue Light Arena, which is in Adum and caught fire, the market area that caught fire, has also brought a lot of them on the street since they have nowhere to be trading. What they also talk about is that
well, guess whose twin was over there? MFR Kosia Aditi. Just a quick bit before we go on break. MFR, right. If there's an unauthorized space, it's not a market. You are selling there. And their thinking is, oh, we are selling here. So everything. I have a problem with Ghanaians. You are not supposed to be selling here. Oh, I'm trying to make a livelihood, so leave me be. Or then the Galamseyers will also say, yes, me too. Yeah. I'm trying to make a living. Allow me to do galamsey. We have problems in this country.
I totally agree.
Serious problems.
We specialize in throwing pity parties and inviting everybody to co-host with us. It's quite a pity. But let's hear that plan, because at least the law says that reasonable corporal punishment. So let's see, maybe the flogging will not be.
I'm not saying I'm in full support of going to whip people and all of that, but sometimes the rationalization, you know, and it just doesn't. But anyway, it is what it is. This is the country we have. We're taking a breather. Don't you forget, this show is proudly sponsored by Whaley Properties. We'll be back with more action.